Hey there, NAC Warriors. So today we are going to be talking about the number one way to avoid health and fitness burnout. For today's episode, what I really would like you to do is try to think about the real reasons why you may be burning out. And today I'm going to share what I found has been helpful for me and the number one way I have discovered how to avoid health and fitness burnout. My name is Angelo. I'm here to share my journey with you and help entrepreneurs and busy individuals take control of their health and fitness. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. If you're listening to this on the podcast, please follow. And if you're on any other platform for that matter, please follow me as well. And let me know if there's something in the future that you would love me to cover, because I'm here to experience with you your journey and share back and forth, and would love to hear what you have going on. And that way I can sort of hear what you've got going on and share what I've got going on and how maybe I handled that situation, or you'll give me some tips that I could use on my journey as well. So, with that, let's just get started into today's episode.
Welcome to the NAC Warrior Show.
Have you ever felt like you were burning out, had trouble starting, or just felt lazy regarding your health and fitness? For me, burnout was a big thing, and that is in the past because, or what I experienced in the past, because I would start and stop and do that very frequently, and I always thought there was something wrong with me. Once I felt like I was burning out, I felt I was lazy, or I experienced some inconsistency, I always felt like that was the end and I would just give up. And that would actually put me on this roller coaster ride in my health and fitness, and it just did not feel good being on that type of journey. However, I came up with a solution, and that's what I want to share with you today is my number one way to avoid burnout in my health and fitness journey, and I'm hoping this way will help you too. And what I did was I ended up creating an acronym that I think will help you. And let me pull this up right here. This was really fun to do. Let me see. Nope, that's the wrong one. Nope, that's the wrong one. I apologize. Hold on, let me pull this up here. There it is. Okay. There. Okay. So the acronym is FUN, F-U-N, and this is going to help us solve burnout. And I, if we really think about like what fun is, like imagine like not having fun doing something. If it's fun, we typically want to do it. If I haven't found anything in my life that I could say if it was fun, I would not want to do it, right? Morally speaking, if it was fun, I would definitely want to do it. But I also at the same time find that if I don't think something's fun, I will naturally want to stop doing it. So we can use the acronym FUN, and it's just like that to create fun. And I'm going to use this to show us how we can actually become fun and learn how to make things fun for us. And the F in the FUN, it stands for fast. The U in the FUN stands for uplifting, and the N in the FUN stands for new. And I'm going to go through each one real quick. As a side note, even though I am focused on health and fitness, you can actually use this acronym in any area of your life that you would love to find something where you feel like you're burning out, but you want to do better, or you don't want to be burning out in, like this is something you really want to do and it's just hard for you. Like you can use this acronym for those, but I'm just going to be here focused on health and fitness. So right off the bat, F stands for fast. When I created the NAC Warrior Roadmap, I wanted to make sure I included a section that addresses the seasons of life that we're in. And I mean, for me, I could work out for an hour or more when I was married. But then when I had kids and became a father, my time wasn't as, let's say, available. And so that hour disappeared and I had much less time than I did in the past. And so what I needed to do was choose the right amount of time that I could spend on my health and fitness. And I found that if I started fighting that, like I really wanted to do the hour, but it just wasn't there, it just got me frustrated and it just wasn't fun for me to do that. And it became a resistance thing. So it's just as important, but what's also important is that it's important to find something that fits your lifestyle. And so you can have too much of something. Not only could you find that the time of your life could be you need less time or more time, like we all go through different things, but what I also find is that we can also overdo it, meaning that even if you had an hour of your day to do something, you could actually overdo it and spend more time and get over obsessed. Like for me, it like with running, it became an obsession and it became so much that it was like I had to do it. It was like an addiction. And it ended up to a point where I gave up training for a whole summer in college for for cross country, my favorite sport. I gave up running a full summer because I just was doing it so much, and it just became not fun anymore. It was just too much. And believe me, like before that, I woke up, I couldn't wait to run. It was like a passion of mine. It was like something that was always on my mind. And there was just one day I just woke up and boom, I was like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. And I just burnt out because I was just doing too much of it. I remember this thing, I can't remember where I heard it, but Tony Robbins did this thing where this person loved chocolate. They wanted chocolate. And he went through this seminar with this person and said, every time you eat, every time you're hungry, you're going to eat chocolate. And this person literally had to eat chocolate every time: breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and they could have water, but that's all that they could consume. And by the end of the seminar, the person hated chocolate. So we can overdo it with things. And so when we go out there and look for things to make it fun for us, we have to make sure that we not only address the time of the season that we're in, but we also have to address the, let's say, obsession of it, how much time we spend in it, because it can become obsessive, and that could end up leading into trouble like it did for me. Questions to consider with this one is, do you have a program you enjoy? Because if you do, I want you to look at it and see how you can change it to fit you. If there's a program that's out there and you're like, you've hesitated, like before I used to hesitate on some of the P90X programs because they would take an hour, you can actually adapt them. You don't have to do the full hour. You can change them to 30, 15 minutes, whatever fits your lifestyle and that sweet spot. So you got to find that sweet spot. And if you do have a program like that and you do find a sweet spot, please let me know in the comments below. The U stands for uplifting. One of the issues that I had with exercising and even weight control is that I needed to be more inspiring. For weight loss, once I hit a specific weight, your ideal weight, mine was always 175. That was my ideal weight that my body seemed to kind of sit into when I was eating healthy and making good choices the majority of the time. But then it became bored. And for me, I need something that's really challenging, and it gives me the perception that if I do this, it will be an uplifting experience. And a static goal, like just staying at 175, that became like one of my biggest challenges in my health and fitness, and it needed to be addressed. And what I ended up doing is I needed to figure out how to tap into my why, my real why, not my surfacey why, but my real why, and use that to figure out a way to create an uplifting future. And that actually helped me. And it's funny because I have to do my why is boredom. Just to let you know, if you haven't heard it already, my why is boredom. So I have to figure out ways to make it super interesting for me, or I end up in trouble. So keeping at 175 for a weight is not fun for me. Even if I were to fluctuate my, I guess I could do some things to fluctuate my percentage of body fat, but what I'm doing now, and I announced yesterday or the day before, is that I'm trying to gain weight to lose it. That's how crazy I am. Like, I'm purposely gaining weight just to lose it, to create some fun and difference in my journey, because that's uplifting to me. Like, and that's what you need to do, is find ways that will make it uplifting for you, that at the end of the day, if you could look back and say to yourself, wow, I did that, or wow, that was super cool, that was fun, that was challenging, that was something you're looking forward to doing it. Like, I'm looking forward to now, I'm getting to the point where 190 pounds is kind of like, I'm kind of like, I'm not liking this so much. So I'm already mentally saying, okay, I can't wait to start the cleanse. I can't wait to start moving towards back to 175. Like, you have to play those games and find something that's uplifting, something that gives you a purpose. So some questions to consider here: is there something that you could do that would be uplifting and make you look back and say internally or out loud, dang, that was awesome, like, I did that? Or maybe can you think of something in your health and fitness that, no matter how weird it may be, like in my case, gaining weight just to lose it, that will excite you? And if you have some type of uplifting goal, please let us know in the comments, because I'd really like to know about that. The final acronym, and I should put this up here. Sorry, I forgot. I was going to put these up here. F for fast, U for uplifting, and then the last one here is N for new. The N in fun stands for new. If you have kids, you know that typically they do not like to brush their teeth. And companies are out there and they do pretty good. I mean, if you think about the things that the resistance you have to go through to get kids to brush their teeth, they do a pretty good job because they're making money off of it, and they're helping parents make their lives easier. And they're really good at creating, now they have apps, they change the flavors of your toothpaste, they make different designs for your toothbrush, they make your dental floss look really cool, and all these different things. And it's there to keep kids interested in brushing their teeth. The more new things that they can come out with, then they may grab one more extra kid out there to make brushing your teeth exciting and interesting. And it only happens for a blip, right? It's just like a bleep of a moment. The newness wears off pretty quickly. And that's what we need to do in our health and fitness. We must figure out ways to make or do something that's going to make it fun and exciting. And to create new levels of excitement, we have to do things. We have to find new things that we can do. And I almost equate it to like like getting a present. You get a present, you look at it, and you're like, oh my gosh, yes, a present. And then you can't wait to open it. You open it and the newness is there, and then you start playing with it or whatever that present is. And then after a while, it either disappears or the newness wears away. And what happens then? So now you got to create something new to keep the excitement going. And we need to figure this out for our health and fitness as well. Keep designing new things. Now, I know for some of you, routine is like your thing. Like, you need to have routine, and I get that. However, I also learned from Tony Robbins that even though you have ingrained in you like a majority of your things need to be routine, he also says that there's a part of you that also needs variety. So even though you may think that you just want consistency, you may want to think about adding some new things in there, because that could be one of the reasons, if you ever experience burnout, that could be the reason And you may not think it's a big thing, but in the end, we all need some variety and some routine. And the thing is that it's just not as strong and for some folks as it is for others. So we got to keep getting in there. We have to figure out how to get it fresh, and we have to look outside the box, like get imaginative, become fun, like do jump roping, do hopscotch, do all these different things just to make it interesting. But maybe your routine is more of a time factor, not necessarily what you do. But, to each their own. So some questions to consider here is, what are some new ideas that you can come up with to help you keep you interested and create new things for your health and fitness journey? And again, let us know so that other people can see your comments, because that will help us create new ideas, think of things that we never thought about. So please share those, and I would really love to hear what those are. And so just to recap, that's the acronym F-U-N, fun, and the F again stands for fast. Make sure it's fast within your time frame, whatever fast means. If it's too long, then you're not going to want to do it. If it's too short, then you're not going to feel like it's that much of a challenge. So you got to find the right fastness for you. It's relative, but also you don't want to do too much, because if it's too much coming at you, then forget about it. Eventually you'll burn out. The U is uplifting, right? We want to find something that's uplifting, something inspiring for us to do. And once we get that, then we get excited, right, for that new thing, and it becomes fun again. And then finding new things. We want to, the N in fun stands for new, and we want to make sure that we're finding new things, because if you can do that, if you can make it fit your time schedule and make it fast, and not feel like forever, if you can make it uplifting and you can find new things to do, then in the end, you should find something that is fun. And again, I can't think of anything that is more opposite of burnout than fun. Like, if it's fun, we're going to want to do it. And so trying to find ways to make things fun is, to me, the number one way to battle burnout or inconsistency or laziness. Because if it's fun, we're going to want to do it. So if you feel like this episode will help somebody, please share it with them. Let them know that I try to come out here every single day. Tonight's a little bit later than normal, but please share this episode. I have lots of other episodes. I'll put links to other different videos and things and audios that may help you on your fitness journey. But if there's something that you would love to, me to do in the future, please let me know. Please let me know what you thought about the FUN acronym, and did you like something? What didn't you like? Maybe you have a different perspective that you'd like to share. Please let me know in the comments below. And let me take a quick look over at if we have any comments. No comments today, but that's okay. With that, I guess we'll end it for today, and I will be on tomorrow. So have a great evening, and I will see you tomorrow.